Welcome on back, everybody. Very excited to talk to our next guest. You guys know we like talking about the local fight scene down here in South Florida, and there's a fun one coming up on April 29th at the Miccosukee Casino. Doors open at 6 o'clock. Elia Carranza is joining us here on the show. Elia, thanks so much for the time. Really appreciate it.
No, man, thanks for having me. I'm excited to join you today.
Yeah, it's great having you on the show. So, can you tell us a little bit about your backstory? So, you're a Broward Sheriff's officer, but you also have gotten into boxing. Like, did one lead into the other? How did that? How did your journey into fighting happen?
Well, I started getting into boxing for fitness. I think like a lot of females do. Kind of just love for the sport, and then you grow a little really obsessively in love with it and go from there. And competitive spirits and all that. But no, I've been in boxing for about 8 years now. I fought in the amateurs for 4 or 5 years. Went pro last year in February. This will be my 4th fight now. While I was at the police academy, I did still fight in the amateurs and still kept going with all that. So one feeds into the other, I think, discipline wise, and just they really go hand in hand. Obviously, with police work, you want to be able to handle business when you have to handle business. But ultimately, they were 2 very separate goals. They just happened to happen at the same time. That was definitely not planned. It just that's God's work right there.
So, as you got addicted to it in a fitness sense, have you found yourself that, as your fight career turned professional last year, has it become even more obsessive? Has it been what you had hoped it would be? Like, how much have you loved that opportunity of getting to, fight for a record and then, getting yourself better and all that situation?
Oh, 100%. So, I mean, the moment that I said I was going to fight in the amateurs, it stopped being about fitness, and the love for boxing has always been there. And actually being in the ring and starting to really learn what boxing truly is and that sweet, beautiful science behind it, man. It's such a awesome sport in that sense where it's like we get to put that physical aspect, but people don't understand the mental aspect that goes behind it as well. So it's been awesome to explore that and really tap into that. But I knew that I was gonna go into the amateurs, and once I said that, I knew the amateurs was just to go pro. So that was just me saying I'm gonna get experience, but we're taking this all the way 100%. So right now we're going on our 4th fight, but we're going for all of it. We're going for the titles. We're going for all the belts. This is what we do. I live and breathe it. We have a gym down here in Fort Lauderdale. So yeah, man, we're going all the way.
Has everything been okay? It was a crazy couple of weeks here for Fort Lauderdale with all the flooding and all that stuff. So has everything, been messed up by training and all that, or has that been able to be okay? Have you been able to work around that? Because that's got to be tough with a fight coming up.
Dude, it's been a mess. It's been a mess. It's been crazy. But the work gets done every single day. Whether I'm gonna squeeze it in, whether no matter what, the work's always getting done. So we're really smart about it. Very smart with the programming and everything. So make sure everything gets done. Yeah, we got hit all left and right. I'm getting hit at work. The gym got flooded. We had to spend any excess time that, like, if I have excess time, but had to pull time out and get to the gym, reset that with our crew. That took days of work, that it's like I didn't even have that time before, and now I was forced to put that time into the gym, so it's dealing with those curveballs, man. That's life. If we use that all as damn excuses and oh, I feel sorry for myself and don't get the job done, we'll never get anything done. So ultimately life is going to keep happening, but we're going to keep working and we're going to keep going towards our goals and doing everything that's got to get done.
So what has been the things that you really wanted to focus on in your 4th professional fight coming up? Were the things that you really wanted to sharpen up? Anything you particularly focused on based on the opponent? Like, what were the things you were proudest of that you got better at this camp leading into your fight coming up in about 10 days?
Man, my boxing IQ is getting so good, so good. And that was definitely the last thing to come into play. It's always the last thing to come into play. So having really tapping into that and really again implementing that science and being able to do it. One thing is knowing things and being able to do it on a bag and all this nice stuff, but to implement all these tools and do it boxing and see things come in and understand the game so much better. So I think just that boxing IQ where, yeah, we're sharper, we're faster, we're stronger. I got all that. The camp's been phenomenal, but what I'm most proudest of outside of that is definitely my boxing IQ. And I think that's going to be what puts on a really big show because I got great power and all that, but mix that with good boxing IQ and defense, man, it's fun.
What who are some of your favorite fighters to watch? Like, do you are your fighters that you just like? I'll tune to them and I like taking stuff from them.
Oh, for sure. You got Shakur Stevenson. Dude, I love the kid. He's a rock star. But honestly, I'm a huge women's boxing fan. So I tune into every single fight that I possibly can. I have every app you can think of. I got DAZN, we got ESPN Plus, everything, you know. And if I find out, listen, when I know like other females are fighting on smaller cards, if they're on boxing TV and stuff like that, I'll buy the fight. I'll support them. You know, I support fighters that have no idea who I am in the women's boxing world simply because I know what that is, you know, and then I do appreciate women's boxing. So it's so damn fun to watch. Amanda Serrano is my all time favorite. I've picked apart certain things from her that I like to implement as well. And she's relentless. She's fearless, dude. She's awesome. So totally fangirling right now, but she's somebody that I take a lot of stuff from, and she's Puerto Rican and I'm Puerto Rican. So you know how that goes.
Have you guys ever crossed paths down here? Because I see on your IG, it seems like you've been to, I know she's done some training at Sweatbox and things like that. Like, has that path ever crossed?
It
down
hasn't.
here?
It's going to. Listen, it's going to, man. That girl and I were gonna be like this. I'm calling it now, but she's just such a beautiful soul, and I know, you know, everything she's done for women's boxing, and that's been very inspirational to me. And a lot of it is something that I stand behind, and I'm like, damn, you know, yeah, we do have to push this agenda. Yeah, you know what, this, and it's like she's just so good at leading and paving the way and setting by example. So I aspire to be a lot of that.
What's the support like when you go out there for these cards? This one being down here in South Florida, you're obviously here in the community. What do you think that's going to be like, getting the support from the people close to you watching you out there?
So this will be my second time fighting at home like this. When I did it back in September, it was the opponent. It was so hard to get the logistics down of it that I wasn't sure if I was even going to get matched. Everybody knows how hard it is with women's boxing at the beginning, especially. So it was something that I had maybe like a week and a half to really promote the fight. And even from that week and a half, we had such a good turnout, man. I was looking, like, when I came out there, I was shocked because I knew people were going to come. But when I walked out and I was doing my walk and I'm looking around and I'm like, oh my God, like, there were so many people here for me. And it was such a blessing, such an amazing feeling. So now that with this fight that we've been able to actually promote more and get it out there more, you know, I would hope that we get even more support and more of a turnout, not just for me, but all the other local talent on this card. There's a lot of local talent with these guys in MNR. I wish she could have joined us today, but that lady is just, she's a female promoter in South Florida, man. She's doing her thing. And she really takes care of her fighters, takes care of all of us in the stable, and tries to put on these shows for people. She's that type that she says $50 general admission, and that's it, because I want everybody to come enjoy the show. And it's like, who does that, you know? So I really respect her so much for everything she's doing.
Before we get you out of here, Elia, I got a quick question for you. So we were discussing this on the show this week. We had one of those situations where a person who thought they were like a semi-celebrity tried to do a "Do you know who I am" kind of card on a cop getting pulled over. Has that ever happened with you? Have you ever come across somebody? You don't have to say names, obviously, but has anybody ever pulled that move on you of trying to get out based on hey, I'm such and such. Do you guys like this or whatnot? Because I always find that stuff pretty hilarious whenever that backfires in their face.
Dude, all the time, man. All the time. It's something that I don't know what the entitlement comes from. But it also depends on how people use it. You know, some people are a little bit more modest about it. They're like, "Hey, do you know such and such?" "Oh yeah, that's my boy." You know, they're just trying to slide it in. That's different. You know, the ones that get like snarky about it and they're just like, you're like,
this isn't gonna go well.
Who are you talking to, bro? Like, what? Like, I don't. We got the same blood, you know.
Yeah.
I know that much. We breathe in the same air, so I don't know what you're talking about.
And do you have any thoughts this weekend on Ryan Garcia versus Tank Davis? Any leanings on how that's gonna go?
We are so excited. We're so excited for that fight. I'm so excited for that fight. I know that the boxing community is, but I don't take credit from either fighter. They both have tremendous talent. They both have the potential to do harm to each other. So at the end of the day, it's going to come down to who you like more as a preference. But as fighters, they both got plenty in their arsenal to take each other out. So neither one can be underestimated. Neither one of them is out the water. It's a very fair fight. It's a very fair fight, I think, and it's gonna be fireworks, man.
Well, go check out Elia Carranza coming up on April 29th at the Miccosukee Casino. Doors open at 6 o'clock, as she said. Price is super reasonable to go watch a entire local card. If you guys like local South Florida boxing, you guys will love this one. Thank you so much for the time. It was great meeting you, great to talk to you, and look forward to watching your career.
Appreciate you, man. Have a great one.
All righty, take care.